Morning. Good morning, justice seekers, justice warriors. It is still morning for me, barely by 1 minute. It's 11:59 on Monday, the day after Christmas, December 26th. Oh man, I just got to get on my live. It's just one thing after another. Okay, how's the lighting? How's my hair? How's the sound and the lights and all this crap? Oh my goodness. Doing this is hilarious, especially for me because I'm not the tech savvy individual that some people think that I am when I'm doing something with the internet. So, no, it couldn't be more of an uphill battle for me. So, let's see. I'm here to talk about the Idaho 4. I hope you guys had a great Christmas. If I have anybody in the live chat, please say something so I know you're there and that you can hear me, and you can let me know if there's any issues with the sound or the lighting. Um, those are the issues, right? So let's just get right on to this case. It's hilarious because when I signed off yesterday, I said to you guys that I would be doing a live probably each day this week, probably in the late morning. And then I was going to bed and I thought, oh man, why did I set myself up like that? Like, I don't even know if I'll have some new ideas by then. And so I just kind of had to laugh because I don't want to say, of course, I have a bunch of new ideas because I might jinx myself. Hey, Avoid Ice 2, good afternoon. So, yeah, it's exactly noon. Ding, ding, ding. But by the time I woke up, I had a couple new ideas. You know, I work out a lot of problem solving in my sleep, but also I caught a couple of other people's shows, and that always gets my gears moving too. So I wanted to reiterate something that I have said before, and I know I've heard at least one other creator address it, is the idea that perhaps one or two or three or four of the victims were roofied. And I'm not talking about getting roofied at the bar. I'm talking about getting roofied after they fell asleep. And I am no expert in those types of crimes. um, but I wonder if the perp could have like slipped something into their mouths to ensure that they would be more docile and easier to overcome. So I don't know. It's just an idea. But one of the issues that I feel like people keep skipping over when trying to look at, well, could it be, who are our suspects and what could the motivation be? Because you got to look at motive, the means, and the opportunity, right? So, who has a strong motive? Who's got the means, not just the weapon, but the ability to get into the house and to know their way around? And who's got the opportunity? Somebody that is watching the house, somebody that has a good view. So, this was an act of rage. This was an extremely, extremely violent act of rage. I don't know that you could get any more violent and rageful. So this person had so much rage. The only way they could satiate it. Wow, catching alive again. Hey, Kate DePenna. Hey, Pixie Knickers. Avoid Ice 2. Thanks for being here, you guys. The only way to satiate it was to engage in this physical activity. So when you're angry and you try to quell it and not be angry, sometimes that just doesn't work. Like, you can't shut it down. But sometimes when you're angry and you do something like hit a punching bag, it doesn't really get the anger out. It actually gets the anger flowing. You know what I mean? So sometimes an act of rage is going to propel one further into more rage. So that's what I'm getting at. So yesterday, for those of you that were here, let me fix my stupid hair. Craziness with almost every town has street cams, ATM cams, stoplight cams, and no footage of people going or coming. Excellent, excellent points. Avoid Ice 2. Thank you so much for just articulating that. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So, I think that there is a lot of footage out there. We're just not going to be privy to it, which makes sense, but it also seems like law enforcement is slow and maybe overlooking things, you know. Anyway, let me finish with this other thought before I go that other direction. Everything I say is my opinion only, simply for the sake of speculation, hoping to open a discussion, start a conversation, hoping that it's educational, and last and least, entertaining. I make my videos specifically for YouTube, and YouTube is an entertainment platform, so I do like to always include that in my kind of disclaimer. Um, I there's so many things to talk about. Where to begin? So I was talking about the motive, so let me just try to stay focused. I'm excited to talk about this with you guys. I'm really excited to talk about this with you guys because I feel like we are propelling the case forward. We're not going to solve it. We're not detectives. We're not law enforcement, but us talking about it helps propel. And for me, the proof is in the pudding. They news, the police chief talks, people just can't stop talking about the YouTubers. Like, why do they care? And then we get these trolls that come in and try to get us off track. Why do they care what the heck we're talking about? We're just a bunch of YouTubers. Like, that's neither here nor there. But they care because it's a collective consciousness, and there's a lot of power in a collective consciousness. So, hey, Pamela. Um, So yesterday, at the very end of my live, there was a troll, and I said their name. I read it out loud. So I didn't write it down when I was rewatching it, when I was reviewing it. But I don't know who that troll was. I don't know if that troll has a connection to this case, but I question if they have a connection to the case in real life. That they had an investment in trying to say, it was an incel, and you're an idiot because all the experts agree that it was an incel. Insane, right? Jaded Warehouse says, "Uh-oh, I must have bad reception. We'll have to rewatch later." You guys, is it doing weird stuff? Because I know when I'm reviewing them, it does weird stuff, and I think it's the lighting. It might be that my cache on my computer needs to be dumped, cleared out. But anyway, let me know if other people are having bad reception, and I apologize for that. I know it's really frustrating. Oh, it's glitching. Dang it. Avoid Ice 2. Thank you for telling me that. I hate reviewing my tapes when they're glitching. I wonder if I add more light. I've got my little ring light right here. If I turn it up, if that'll make it glitch less. I don't know. I don't know if the lighting triggers that. I closed it and opened it back up, and it's fine now. Oh, cool. Okay, you guys, try that. And I don't know if I just flooded it out with the light. I'm just going to leave it. It's just such an annoyance to be messing with the light. I was totally laughing at myself. Oh, Pamela, thanks for letting me know. It's a little glitch, but getting better. So maybe the light flood did help. Yesterday, when I was like running up and down the stairs trying to like take the blackout curtains off the window, and it was just hilarious. I was laughing at myself. I hope you guys weren't too annoyed with me making all these ridiculous adjustments. The light changes as the sun moves behind clouds or what have you. So even in just like a 10-minute video, I will have issues where it's too dark and then it's fine and then it gets too dark. It's very annoying. Voice talking was freezing up. Dang it. So yeah, I'll have my experts look at my computer today. Um, all right. So let's just go with the flow here. Um, so my thought with that troll yesterday, and it's fine for people to come in to my chat that have never been here and express different opinions. That's welcome. That's absolutely welcome. But being rude is not welcome. And it was kind of hilarious to me when they just said, "You're wrong." It's like, oh, okay. I guess I won't talk about it anymore then. Since you tell me I'm wrong, then I must be wrong. And it was Christmas, and I'm just like, how sad is that these trolls are out there trolling on Christmas? I mean, honestly, I almost think some people might look at it as sad that us YouTubers are content creators in our lives, that we're all doing this on Christmas and Christmas Eve. That somebody who's not into it could criticize and be like, kind of silly that you spend your Christmas like that, right? But for us, we know that we love this and we have a love of each other. We have a love of kind of the collective consciousness. And there's nothing we'd rather be doing on Christmas or Christmas Eve, right? I mean, honestly. And if somebody thinks that's pathetic, that's fine. To each their own. We all have our opinions. Oh, good. It's working now. Let me read a few more of these. KAB says, I barely ever just watch you. We are busy out here. You have lighting. I love it. I love it. That's great. But as long as my voice isn't glitching, then, right? Pixie Knickers says, it's a merry moron Christmas. They're everywhere. Oh, hilarious. I love you, Pixie Knickers. So, it almost flattered me that this troll found it a priority to come into my live. I'm like, why am I even on their radar? And then later I thought, could it be JD? Could it be a friend or family member of JD's that they're out there canvassing the streets of YouTube, pounding the pavement, so to speak, and trying to derail people that are looking at him as a primary suspect. So we all know, I'm being honest, he's my primary suspect, right? Aw, Pixie Knickers says, I love you too, sis. And Avoid Ice says, some people don't want open dialogue, discussions, or debate for that matter, as long as they are right. Absolutely. Hey, allegedly, he says, hello, everyone in chat, and hello, Justice. I hope you guys had a great Christmas. Candles versus Minnesota was all captured on street cams. I think it was 4K, 14K, or 40K plus images. Wow. Isn't that phenomenal? Absolutely phenomenal. Heavenly Cloud says, hello, all. Your sound and picture are perfect now. Oh, excellent. Good. I won't worry about it anymore then. I was really sweating it. I think the glitch is gone. Goodbye, Mr. Glitch. You are rude and not welcome here. To the tune of Grinch. LOL. That's adorable. And it led to a guilty verdict. Right. So, yeah, we've got body cams from the past that are revealing in regards to the quadruple homicide. Those body cams from noise complaints, the body cams from the car prowler. There were two body cams from the car prowler. Like each one of the cops had their own. And Paula Plunder got both of those, and she put both of those in her video. And it was so informative. I was really surprised. All doxed up. That's cute. So, oh my goodness. This Christmas, I just try to roll with it. I just try to breathe and do my mom thing and be Christmassy and do all the things that need to be done. And I mentioned yesterday, I'm so glad when it's over. It's like running a marathon and I'm just like ready to collapse and I'm exhausted. And, it's just never over. It's never over. I mean, now we get to take down the tree. And I usually do that right away, like within a day or two. But sometimes we wait until New Year's. So I don't know. I don't know which we'll do this year. Again, it's just so much work. Moms have a lot to do, keep the spirits up. And I just feel like my family just trashes my house constantly. The dishes, the laundry, the messes. Can I just rant for a minute? Like my husband took all four of the kids sledding yesterday in 15-degree weather. I thought that was cute. I thought that was kind of cool. But I knew they would come back and trash the house more with all of their wet snow clothes. And of course, I'm like tripping over boots and everything. It's like, why can't people just put stuff away in an orderly way? Because they know that I'll take care of it for them. And that pisses me off. Pisses me off. Okay, let's see. I got my phone here. And I have a new mod. How do I do that? Add moderator. All right. So, did that work? Did Now a moderator. You should be a moderator. So, Kale, make another comment and see if the wrench comes up next to it in blue because it doesn't do it on the comment that you made, but it should do it. So, if you make a comment, we'll see. And then if not, I'll tap the thing. So, anyway, distractions, down to the meat and potatoes, right? So, motive is huge. Motive is like one of the most important factors in a homicide or any crime, but especially a homicide. So, you know, that whole thing with the incels, like, their motive is because they hate Stacy's and they hate Chad's. They are terrorists. They are considered terrorists. They are committing hate crimes and they are being followed by the FBI. So let me see what my mod says. Oh, there. Hello. Awesome. You're in. Very cool. Awesome. Thank you for being here, everybody. So, let's see. This suspect that I have had in my mind, and I've tried to keep an open mind and look at the other possibilities of a random serial killer, a different person that knew these people that had issue, that had motive. And I just can't come up with anything substantial. That's just me. That's just my opinion. That's just the way I'm thinking. But a lot of the talk in other people's videos last night and today has been about the aunt speaking up in Jack D's defense. And she was in an interview with the New York Post, I think it was, and it's all over the webs. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm sure you have. But she's trying to come to bat for Jack. And I don't know that she did anything except maybe a little bit deeper, like maybe strung him up a little tighter, hung him out to dry. I mean, seriously, one of the things I've told you guys again and again, one of the things that bugs me the most about these MFs is what? Where is my note? Oh my goodness, there's so many things. Playing the victim. Sorry about that. Total brain glitch. I can't stand when the perps try to play the victim. The police in this situation try to play the victim. Oh, those mean YouTubers, the YouTube meanies are messing with our case. We can't solve it with meanie YouTubers out there. And then Jack's auntie saying that it's so sad that he's being accused, like half the country thinks that he's guilty. Okay, he hasn't come out and spoken. It's been 6 weeks. Nobody from his family has come out and said anything. Nothing. Zilch, nada. 6 weeks. That right there is evidence. The silence is deafening, and the silence reveals a lot, in my humble opinion. But to play the victim, like, oh, poor me, my girlfriend who dumped me 3 weeks prior to getting slaughtered isn't alive anymore. Oh, poor me. Like, really? Really? So also this auntie is trying to maybe switch up the time frame. I don't know, because everywhere that I had ever heard a time frame was that Kaylee had dumped Jack about 2 weeks before the quadruple homicide. Oh my goodness, the hair. The hair. It is so funny. I'm telling you, the way it does like bricks and spider webs, don't you just love it? Seriously. And I did everything right. I did everything right. Where's my hat? Nothing works. It's hopeless. Here, I'll just do this. All right. There we go. I could put a hat on. I have one on each side of me for safety. So, anyway, so the language that Auntie used too was that he was once considered a prime suspect. I thought that was hilarious. Like, once you're considered a person of interest, You're always considered a person of interest. It doesn't cancel out even when your story checks out. You're still a person of interest. You might not be a suspect, but you still are a person of interest because you're close to the case and you know things. Like Jack S., for instance. He's a person of interest. That does not make him a suspect, in my opinion, but he is absolutely. Avoid Ice 2 says harsh video is funny at the end about Jack. Oh, I think I saw the video and I think I missed the last 30 seconds of it. Maybe I saw it, but I can't remember because I kept getting interrupted. A million interruptions. Pause, pause, pause. So annoying. I think you notice your hair more than we do. It looks good. Aw, Sifa, you're so nice. Thank you. I'll quit thinking about it because I'm not here for that. You guys aren't here for that. We're here for the content. And I'm always happy to have content to share with you guys. Has anybody heard of Jack's? If Jack's got a lawyer, I bet he does. You commented on it. Oh, okay, I did. I commented on the end of Harsh's video. Perhaps. I don't know. Let's see. I definitely have like the holidays. I'm sure you guys can tell I'm just kind of like blown away. Need your signature hat, AZ. Oh, too funny. I've got a couple of them. I got my baseball cap over here. I've got my cute little, I call it my Ricky Lee Jones hat right here. Should I put it on? Oh my goodness. We don't care about this stuff, do we? There. It's not helping. It's not helping. It just made it worse, but we're not worrying about it. We're just going to leave it alone. I stopped doing bangs for that same reason. They had their own agenda and couldn't keep up with them. Honestly, I only made the bangs for the YouTube. So anyway, I'm starting to think it was a professional hit because of the clean crime scene and the lack of ability to identify a credible suspect. That's interesting that you think that. I still think the clean crime scene is just perhaps a product of very good planning and knowing their way around. And Heavenly Cloud says, I'm so glad it's over Christmas, but we keep the Christmas spirit all year long. Exactly. I mean, I love giving people gifts. I don't need it to be Christmas to give my friends or my family gifts. When I find cool stuff for them, I just like to give it to them. So, let's see. There's a human. So shh, be quiet. He might hear us. Oh my goodness. Too funny. So the motive, the means, the opportunity. That's what we need to look for. And I have a question. I've asked you guys this once before. Who drives that white pickup truck that's seen in the surveillance footage when Maddie and Kaylee are walking down the sidewalk with Jack D on their way to the Grub Hub from the Corner Club? And they're talking about Atom. Who's driving that white pickup truck and why does it pull over into a parking space at about 1:30 in the morning right as it's passing them? So it's like it sees those people, maybe the driver, the people in that white pickup truck, and then they pull over and park. I don't know. Maybe there was an ATM there. I don't know. Maybe they live there. I don't know. But I'm curious who's in the white pickup truck and has law enforcement tracked them down and spoken with them? Because even if they're not persons of interest or suspects, maybe they saw something. Maybe. Let's see. Humans. Oh no. LOL. Hear about the connection to Hannah Clear, Maddie's ex roommate. Yes, we were talking about that a little bit yesterday. Allegedly says 1, it's a hit, 2, it's the wrong house, or 3, it's a serial killer. Perhaps. I still am convinced. And Jack's aunt coming out after 6 weeks of silence and then stating the things that she allegedly stated to the news reporter just to me adds to my stack of reasons that I think that Jack D is suspect number 1. Perspective for a crime scene, just because they say it's a mess doesn't mean it is. That's the perspective of cops and coroner that never dealt with a crime scene like that before. Good point. Very good point. I'm convinced they knew the person. Rhonda, are you talking about the person in the pickup truck or you're talking about the person that killed them? I definitely think that they knew the person that killed them, but they might have known the person in the pickup truck too. Jack D could have been out of control with rage because Kaylee broke it off with him. Right. And now the aunt is saying it was 3 weeks prior, where we've been told, and it's been reported that it was 2 weeks prior. Really, six to one half dozen or the other, as far as I'm concerned. That doesn't change anything, in my opinion. If these were seasoned police and coroner from a place where murders happen often, then I would accept it. These guys are green and have never handled many homicides. Absolutely. Absolutely. And when you've got a quadruple, when you've got something that serious, why not just allow the pros to do the job that they are trained and seasoned at? I don't understand that. To me, my opinion is the FBI should be in charge. They should be the one delegating the roles and saying who does what and who's covering this and who's covering that. Jack D and not the serial killer, as Murphy was spared. Jack paid hitman, possibly. Yeah, so sparing the dog is huge, absolutely huge. I said that yesterday, I've said it before. I believe that any crazy, rageful psycho killer is going to take that dog out immediately because they don't want the dog to like literally squeal on them, right? They don't want the dog to try to defend their owner. They don't want the dog just to be running around. They could trip over the dog, for crying out loud. But to put the dog so carefully into a room unhurt doesn't make sense unless it was somebody who really loved that dog, who really cared about that dog. Because even in the room, that dog could still be making noise, scratching at the door and just kind of, messing with the scene, messing with the acts that they're about to commit. So I would think that anybody who didn't own the dog, who didn't have an interest in the dog, would have simply offed the dog. I mean, it's a horrible thing to say, but they offed 4 people. Why do they care about a flippin' dog? Unless they care about the flippin' dog, right? This has been said since the day FBI count first came out. It's been how long since the first announcement of FBI? That's how long I've said all this. Well, yeah, the FBI came out first day, right? But yeah, why didn't they come out first minute, like as soon as the call was dispatched? Well, the call that there were 4 dead bodies, because we all know the first call had none of that information. But as soon as that information was discovered, they should have been implementing their crime scene experts. And I'm sure they did, but I don't know when exactly they got the feds involved. I know it was on the first day, right? Didn't they share the dog, the boyfriend and girlfriend? Yes, they had like shared custody of the dog. And after the 10 attempts to call Jack that night, the wee hours of the morning from 2:26 to 2:52, after the 10 phone call attempts, then there was a text from Kaylee to Jack that said, "Come on, Jack, call me back. We share a dog together," or something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing. Um, yes. Believe cops should have taped it off and sealed it and let the FBI. That's what I feel like too. Kaylee's last text also about the dog. I think she only texted once, but left the 10 messages, or I don't know actually if messages were left when the 6 phone calls and then the 3 phone calls and then the other phone call. I don't know if they did leave messages. I haven't heard about that. When I say hit, it doesn't mean a personal one per se. How do we know the house members didn't put the dog in a room each night? It's called kenneling. Right, allegedly. I'm going off of what Steve Gonzalez, Kaylee's father, has said in the last like 3 days, maybe 2 days ago, probably 3 days ago, that the dog slept with Kaylee and Maddie, always slept with Katie and or Maddie. So that's where I'm going off of. Because yeah, a lot of people do kennel their dogs, and for all we know, there's an actual crate, right? I mean, crating a dog at night is routine for a lot of people, and the dogs like it. Um, Especially if they didn't know the dog, it would be a done deal. So, is it possible for a killer to have less sympathy for humans than for animals? I agree that at the very least, this person knew the dog's temperament was mild. Good points. Fast cash moving product happens a lot, especially off campus houses. Is it possible that Adam might have introduced them? Product was lost or stolen. Example had to be made pro hit. I think that's possible. I think that that's a worthwhile consideration right there, allegedly. Back to big Back to white, big dually truck. How many places have LE, I'm thinking you meant Barbara rather than EE, seen it so far? Right. Accidental hit, just like cops shooting up a house and killing innocent people because they raided the wrong house. Maybe a wrong house hit. Yeah, but then we have to look at the fact that one of the individuals was much more heinously injured than the other individuals, and the reports or the suspicions are that that's Kaylee, right? So, yeah, these are all definitely things you need to consider. People sometimes love their animals more because the dogs don't leave you and don't argue. Yeah, 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 yeah. If Murphy usually slept with Maddie or Kaylee, it was a weird night when the dog would not be with one of both girls. Right. And if they were sleeping in the same bed together, you would think the dog would just be like cuddling at their feet or something. Sifa says, I still can't wrap my head around how the roommates didn't think to call the police first, especially since there would have been a lot of blood. Sifa, very, very good point. The only sense that I can make of it is that they hadn't gone up to the second floor, that they were still on the first floor when they called their friends to come over. That's how I make sense of that. Just because her dad or family members say things doesn't make it true. Exactly. Absolutely. I bet they didn't know they drank and partied with all those men in their houses and were like, go on, honey, have fun. Good point. 2 weeks before a dog was murdered by a human found on the road not far from their house. Right, Dilly Owens, good point. I think if it's the dog that was skinned and filleted, I think that was 3 weeks earlier. But again, that 3 weeks kind of coincides with what the aunt was saying in her time frame of 3 weeks. Wow. See, that auntie might have done more harm than good. Redirect is, let's see, all signs point to Kaylee, in my opinion, Jaded Warehouse says. And allegedly, redirect to someone's killing one person and the other wakes and runs. Grabbing and attacking her would require more aggression and cause defensive wounds. Explains why one or two had more. Yeah, I honestly don't think a killer would try to kill one person in a bed without already intending to kill the other one. Like maybe if they broke into the house expecting to find one person in the bed and then they found two, that they would still know that they would have to kill them both, that there's no way they're going to kill one and escape unseen. I mean, that's just my opinion. But again, maybe they were roofied. If I were the roommates, I would have been scared not knowing if the person who did it might still be in the house or not. If I were any of these people in Moscow, I would be scared that that killer is still running around Moscow or anywhere else outside of Moscow and that they might do it again. That's what's frustrating me so much with the fact that we're 6 weeks out and we still don't have a primary suspect. And one thing I really, really, really wanted to say is you cannot compare this case to any other case. You pretty much can't compare any case to another case because every single case is different, but especially one with a slaughter like this and with 4 victims. I mean, to me, the only case that I've been able to really compare it to is the case in Kansas from 1959, the one that Truman Capote wrote In Cold Blood about. So let me get on with my list here. So I spoke about how, to me, in my opinion, obviously the person who did these killings or people who did these killings knew their way around the place. They knew how to get in, they knew how to get out, they knew how to move around, they knew their way around, they were comfortable, they were confident. And then the whole thing about the playing the victim and, oh, poor me, woe, always me, law enforcement playing the victim, potential perp playing the victim. Oh, it's so hard on me, me. That self-obsessed narcissism where I, me, my, I, me, my. Some four people lost their lives, and it's all I, me, my, I, me, my. That's something to really take into consideration. Um, so, talking about Jack D losing the love of his life in the death of Kaylee, he had already lost the love of his life prior to her death, allegedly, right? So, just something I wanted to point out. Mhm. And then yesterday I was saying how when there's a 911 call made, say for a passed out subject, that when that 911 call is dispatched, it's dispatched as unconscious male subject, unconscious female subject, not unconscious person subject. I mean, that's just facts from the way first response calls are dispatched. They're always going to try to give as much detail as they can so that the people running to this address can discern which person it is exactly that they're looking for. I mean, there might be a few people asleep on the ground. So, which subject is it? Is it a male subject? Is it a female subject? What race is the subject? What approximate age is the subject? Younger, older, all of this information, if they have it, they share it. Or if they don't have it, then they don't share it. But for them to say unconscious person, I can't imagine that that's what they said on the 911 tape. And maybe that's why they're not releasing that initial 911 tape, because they're just trying to keep under wraps whether the subject was male or female. Jack S. is not a suspect. I hear you, Kale. I don't think that Jack S. is a suspect. He's with the girls, then 5-hour drive, then Africa. I don't know that he went to Africa, Barbara. I think that might have been a lie. I think that might have been crap. His family goes to Africa a lot because they're doctors and they do like missionary work there. But I think the part about him driving is accurate, but I think the part about Africa is not accurate. I'm not 100% sure, but we just got to be really careful because people really ran with that whole thing like, oh, he's in Africa. And it's like, even if he was in Africa, I mean, the police can still extradite him. I mean, yay. And One Way Street says, I made it to a live, allegedly. Okay, having my first cup of coffee. I'm not even awake yet. I've only had one cup of coffee. Maybe that's part of my thing, but I do have some tea. Some Earl Grey, my favorite. Excuse me while I drink. My son brought me an egg and cheese croissant, coconut donut, and coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. Oh, aren't you spoiled? I 100% agree that there is something on the 911 call they don't want released. But on the flip side, if the call finally gets released and nothing's on it, those cops need to be fired. And, typically, even in an open investigation, the dispatched call is still going to be released under the Sunshine Law. So it's really abnormal for them to not be releasing that 6 weeks out. Who knows? Maybe it'll get released soon. That Africa thing was from JM, who made up the scream. Oh, I didn't know that Heavenly Clouds. I kind of ignored the whole Jack S. conspiracy theory because to me, I really thought it was just a bunch of smoke and mirrors. So I didn't know where the source was, but I just saw too many people taking it and running a million miles with it. And it just kind of made me sick that content creators were not being careful to vet their information. Yeah, just my opinion. I don't like criticizing other content creators, but I also don't like content creators putting stuff out there simply for the clicks and the likes and the views, because that is, to me, irresponsible. Just my opinion. So let me finish up my notes here. Um, just saying again, just reiterating that Jack D's aunt speaking out for him may have really backfired, may have really hung him up. And, you always got to be careful of that, which is, I think, why suspects stay quiet, because they know if they say anything, it can hang them up. Of course, if they say anything, it can get twisted around. Everything you say can and will be used against you, even when you're not under arrest. To me, that's just regular everyday life. Everything you say can and will be held against you. So to keep that in mind. So one of the things I wanted to bring up, and then I'll read a few of your comments, is, did law enforcement forget to talk to the driver that picked up Kaylee and Maddie from the Grub Hub? Did they only talk to that driver like a few weeks, like several weeks after the incident? Was that like an afterthought? Because that should have been like one of the first, right? That concerns me. That really concerns me. So I'm just going to read a few of your comments and then wrap up. I see. I thought it was truthful because he was truthful. Okay, Heavenly Clouds. Have I pinned anything yet? Sorry, you guys, if I'm snoozing on the job. Which he are you talking about? Kaylee's father. Dilly Owen says the last interview with Kaylee's father, brother, and sister, when asked about Jack still being a suspect, her brother and her father, they ain't pretending that he's all innocent no more. Huh, I didn't really catch that. I think I caught the interview. I'll have to rewatch it. Because I thought they were still saying, oh yeah, we're 2000% sure that there's just no way he would have done this. And if that's what they're saying, I think they're A, in denial, B, covering, or all of the above. Ara, hello. They are slowly releasing information the closer they are getting to their perp, in my opinion. I hope so. Good morning, Ara. I thought it was truthful. Okay, yeah, and I wasn't sure if you wanted to say who you were talking about, if that's about Steve Gonzalez. I think his nickname is Gonzo, which I thought was really cute. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. I think that Kaylee's dad goes by Gonzo. I've read that a couple places, but it could be misinformation. I just thought it was adorable. On my way, okay, allegedly is going to find Heavenly Clouds for the donuts and food. Santa Sleigh. Anyone who speaks out is in danger of being criticized. It's a double-edged sword full of suspicion. Completely. Absolutely. And, people are mindful of that. They know that when they say anything, which I think is why, say, the roommates have only spoken through a third party. Because, yeah, people have a lot of questions for those roommates, and rightfully so. Even though I don't personally suspect them as suspects, I understand people who might. So, if they have any evidence at all, there'd already be a person of interest brought in for interrogation. The white car video shows they have nothing, begging for information and searching. That's what I fear, allegedly. And I know that legal stuff pretty darn good, being a lawyer and all. And that is exactly my fear. Unfortunately, I hope that that's incorrect. Let's see. What did I skip? Okay. Jaded Warehouse. It's been so quiet without any sort of updates. Should we be feeling hopeful because of this? This case is going to need to be airtight for trial. Possibly. Fingers crossed. Possibly. I mean, wouldn't that be nice? I would love to eat my words. I would love to be incorrect in my suspicions. Absolutely. You know, my suspicions that the police are not up to par, to put it nicely. Um, he is JM, so we know who JM is. I thought the Africa thing was true. Now I know that it is not. Um, right. Yeah, like I said, people just run with stuff, and it's fine if it's accidental. People ran with something accidentally. In my opinion, you make a mistake, you trip, you fall, you get up, brush yourself off, keep moving. But if you're just making it up to create content that's just fluff or crap, not at all okay in my opinion. I mean, and again, then that's kind of makes all of the YouTube true crime community look bad, right? Then it looks like that's what we do, when for the most part that's exactly what we don't do, in my opinion. There may be only one murderer serial killer that ever stopped killing on his own, Edmund Kemper. His goal was complete with mom, so he turned himself in. Interesting. Very interesting. So let me get through a few more of these and then wrap up. Okay, so the mod says you have 50 of us in this live and 20 likes. Please smash the like for Jazz. So thanks for remembering that, Kale. And please share, subscribe if you haven't yet and you feel so inclined. It's really helpful for the channel. So I am getting information from YouTube that I'm being reviewed for monetization. So that might be exciting. I don't know. It's not my concern. It's not my priority. But sure, I mean, money is always nice, right? Money is helpful. But I hit 3,000 subs yesterday. So thanks, you guys. Thank you, subs. To me, that was like the best Christmas present in the world. And 3,000 isn't a lot when, I'm not going to compare myself to channels that have been around a lot longer and have a lot more. To me, 3,000 is like about more than 30 times more what I ever thought I might have. Like, I really didn't know if I'd even get close to 100. Honestly. So I'm just thrilled. I can't believe I have 3,000 subs, and thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Please hit that like if you haven't yet. And allegedly says with the majority of murders, mass murders, once they taste blood, it becomes a taste for blood and it becomes an addiction. Same with DV and other crimes. You have studied your research very well. That is 100% true to my knowledge. And it is something really good to think about. And especially thinking about if this was a first-time killer that killed 4, that they're going to be jazzed about that. They're going to be fired up. They're going to want more, in my opinion, most likely. So leaving DNA on the button. That's cute. Oh, I'm not a lawyer, though. I just deal with the legal battles in healthcare, which doesn't require legal training. Maybe not legal training, but yeah, just thinking like a lawyer. Thanks for clarifying. I study criminals, though, very deeply, study their psyche. Well, and you're probably a suspect, allegedly. Careful what you joke around about, right? I mean, there's usually truth to every joke. I think Goncalves is pronounced Gonsalves. Yes. And I like that. Gonsalves. Like, that's kind of like an interesting little coincidence, shall we say, or synchronicity. Yes, hopefully we can solve that. Double smash, computer smash like, and TV smash like. Thank you, Heavenly Clouds. That's cool. And allegedly says he always hits the like button when he comes in. So yeah, if you haven't done it yet and you're thinking that you might, please do at least hit it on the way out. That it doesn't really matter when you hit it, just so that you hit it, it puts that into YouTube algorithm. And especially now that I'm being reviewed for monetization, because it would be cool to be monetized. I think, again, that's probably a double-edged sword. So we'll see. You learn as you go. The interview with Kaylee's brother shaking his head yes on Watch the Obsession. Thank you, Dilly Owens. I haven't watched that last Watch the Obsession yet. I saw that this morning and I'm excited to watch it today. When I monetize, I'm having 80% of my monetization donated to an organization, Subscriber's Choice. That's very cool. That's a very nice way to do it, allegedly. I love that. When I started watching, I think you was around 200 subs. Oh man, you've been here since the outset. That's awesome. Yeah, it didn't take too long to get to 200, probably just a few weeks. And then I remember like getting all excited when it started getting close to 1,000 because I was like, wow, I had no idea that that was even possible. And then it just like went to 2,000 pretty quick. It took a while to get to 1,000. Went to 2,000 really quick. And then 3,000, it was like kind of flying up until the last several hundred. I kind of flatlined. And that could be for a number of reasons. It could be due to some shadow banning or something. I don't know. It could be anything. It could be me. Maybe I was just getting more boring or something. Could be the bad hair, the bad lighting. Right. Okay, let's wrap it up here. The brother raised his eyebrows and nodded his head. Yes, I saw that too. I am excited to watch that. Kelly is so good because she's a behavioral expert, right? Allegedly knows Kelly well. I would be 100%. I would 100% be a suspect in a murder if it happened near me, especially since I'd be boots on the ground at the scene, recording everything. Oh, that's great. That's so funny. I hear ya. So yeah, hopefully, thanks Jaded Warehouse. Congrats on 3 grand. It is really, really cool. Like I said, I know it's a teeny amount in some people are, Christina Randall's like way over 1 million now. Way over 1 million. Like that is so cool. Paula Plunder is probably getting close to 200,000. And I've been watching her since she was really new. But she hit the ground running. I think she used to be like a news reporter, like a regular job kind of news reporter. I'm not 100% sure. Um, so, oh, Dilly Owens, thank you. I thought your hair looked cute like that. Thanks, dear. Only 6 likes. What? Did people unlike? Was that the problem? Did I talk too much? That's so insane. How can they possibly have nothing? Strange. This is a bizarre case. Yeah, they better have piles and piles of stuff, but wasn't it weird that it took them 3 weeks to tow the cars and it took them 3 weeks before they went back in to collect more evidence? Like that, those were red flags that had me worried. Videographer is Plunder. Interesting. Oh, I see 32 likes. So yeah, Jaded Warehouse, hit your refresh button, it sounds like. I just know how mad I get watching people video and pick showing a tree with nothing to compare it to for depth. I'd be showing references and such. Absolutely. Yes, everything is relative. Everything is relative. So, yeah, like I said a few minutes back, the police, law enforcement possibly not talking to the driver of their ride home from the Grubhub for several weeks, like that's really concerning. Like that should have been done immediately, if not sooner. Some people think subscribing costs money, right? Like a newspaper or a magazine subscription, and it doesn't. You just hit the sub button and you're done. No commitment. You can unsub, you just like you can unlike at any time. So I just know how mad I get watching people. Oh, I just read that one. Did I tag it? Let me go ahead and tag it. And then we'll get wrapping up, you guys. Thanks again for being here with me. I just appreciate you more than you can imagine. You sound sharp. We need more people like you, Heavenly Clouds says. And you too, Heavenly Clouds. You too. You guys are all sharp. And I enjoy your comments so much in the chat. I enjoy your comments later. I just enjoy the conversation. I enjoy doing this with you guys. So thank you. again for being here. And I'm going to sign off. I'm going to say, have a great day. It's getting close to that 1 hour mark, which, I try not to go too far over an hour if I do go over an hour, but I try to keep them on the shorter side just because we all have things we got to do, right? All of us. So have a great day. I hope you guys can get a lot accomplished. I hope that you can get things returned if you need to. I would recommend against that though, because it's so busy. Usually the first day, it's good to kind of wait a few days if you need to return things. But that's just my opinion. Get into those after Christmas sales, which I'm sure all these places with the Arctic blast, those after Christmas sales are going to be rocking. So that can be fun. And just take good care of yourself. Make sure you're getting your rest, your relaxation, your exercise, your fruits, your veggies, your water, your protein, your peace and quiet, your peace of mind, your kindness, and your self respect, right? That's what it's all about. And so Kale says, I see 35 likes now. Well, very cool. So, yeah, please hit that like button on the way out if you don't mind, if you feel so inclined. And we will see you mañana. Have a great rest of your day. And thanks again. Glad you guys made it through Christmas.